Hello ladies and gents, welcome to today's video, and for today I'm going to review, document, and sound demo this really cool guitar right here. This is the Dean from Hell, or the Dean Covers from Hell, whatever you want to call it. It is the most iconic guitar that Dean put out for Dimebag Darrell, and let's get right into this guitar. So this guitar right out of the factory comes with a Floyd Rose Special, a Seymour Duncan Dimebucker on the bridge, and a Dean DMT pickup on the neck position. The inlays on this guitar are made out of acrylic, which don't shine or luster or do anything cool, but they serve their purpose of being fret markers on the fretboard. The headstock on this guitar has that classic V-shaped Dean headstock, and the custom shop versions of this guitar say Dean from Hell on the headstock. On the back of the headstock, you guys can see it's got that really cool Dimebag silhouette, Grover tuners, and one thing that surprised me when I got this guitar is that it was made in China, which explains some of the QC issues I'm going to talk about in just a few minutes, but I thought these guitars were made in Korea, and of course the higher end custom shop versions of this guitar were made in the United States. The back of the neck is painted, and the back of the body is also painted on this guitar, which, this guitar, you just have to see it in person to truly appreciate the beauty of, because you don't realize how blue it is until you see it in person. The back of the horn has that Dimebag signature. This does not come with the guitar. This is a decal I put on it, but it looks really cool. The fretboard material in this guitar is rosewood, which is a little too light for my liking. I like my fretboards dark and rich, and basically ebony fretboards. For comparison, I'm going to show you guys the Dean Cemetery Gates' fretboard. And again, you don't have to value my opinion. I like fretboards to be rich and dark, but I'm just giving you an extra piece of information so you know what you're getting when you buy one of these guitars. Also, the fret markers on the binding of the neck are only apparent on the top of the binding. So again, just extra pieces of information for you to have in case you're considering buying one of these things. So the wood material in this guitar, or in the body at least, is supposed to be mahogany, and I'm starting to doubt that, and I'll talk about that later when I talk about the QC issues. But of course, this guitar has that iconic, awesome graphic that became synonymous with Dimebag Darrell, that black fading to blue with the lightning, and honestly, you just have to see this guitar in person to truly appreciate the beauty of it. I've heard a lot of people say that this graphic or this design looks kind of cheesy because it reminds them of like 90s cheesy computer wallpapers, but that's all nonsense. This guitar is fucking beautiful. Here's a view of the neck joint of this guitar, and it's worth noting that the strap button actually gets in the way when you try to play in the upper frets, but of course you can change that. I just wanted to show you guys what you get right out of the factory. So as of right now, this guitar has been discontinued. The reason being is because there's a legal battle between Dean Guitars and the Dimebag estate over all the rights to Dimebag's guitars and all that fun jazz. But yeah, as of right now, again, these guitars are discontinued. There are a few stores that actually have these guitars new, but honestly, they're not worth it in my opinion. You guys will know exactly what I'm talking about when I get to the QC issues, but they go for around $850 new. I got this guitar for $500 used, but I will be returning it sadly because of the QC issues. I was hoping this guitar would be a birthday present to myself when I first got it, but there's no way I'm going to keep it now. So before I move on to the QC issues, I just want to say that I was hoping Dean would give these guitars a special treatment, or more special treatment that they have. They shouldn't be made in China. They should be made at least in Korea with the quality, at the very least, of the Cemetery Gates guitars, or the really good mid-range Dean guitars. But I'm just gonna get into the QC issues now, and then we'll talk about that later. So this guitar has a neck joint crack, which is fucking amazing. That shouldn't happen. With a guitar that is a neck through construction, there should be no neck joint cracks. That's been an issue with Dean guitars, with their bolt-on construction guitars, but I don't understand how you fuck this up with a neck through construction guitar. It's crazy. This guitar should have been, this is the standard when somebody wants to get a Dimebag guitar, and I don't know, I don't feel like Dean did a good job of making sure these guitars were made correctly. So the second QC issue, and the biggest one, is that unfortunately this guitar has a huge crack running halfway through the body, and honestly it's fucking awful. When I first got this guitar, I saw that and I fucking panicked. it's not cool. And you might say you got this guitar used, that this is the exception rather than the rule. Well, I'll tell you guys now, this is not the exception. I see these guitars on the used market all the time with broken parts, and now I see why. I thought those guitars were just like, again, the exceptions, but it is so common, it's fucking ridiculous. Also, if you guys see there's a crack on the fret there, this is an indicator that the headstock's gonna break off. And you guys might think I'm exaggerating, but this is another issue that I see commonly with guitars that are sold, with other Dean Cowboys from Hells that are sold for parts on eBay, on Reverb. All these pictures I'm showing you guys are from like actual listings that I basically just looked up as I was making this video. So it's honestly insane. These guitars should have been made a lot better. It would have benefited everybody. It would have benefited Dean Guitars because they would be known as a much better guitar manufacturer, and it would have benefited the Dimebag legacy. But it seems like Dean didn't give a shit about those two things, at least not the past few years before this guitar was discontinued. And I can see why the Dimebag estate doesn't want to be with Dean anymore. This guitar was actually supposed to be my birthday present to myself a few months back, but as soon as I got it, I knew I had to return it from Guitar Center. And honestly, you know, I was really bummed out because it means that if I want to get one of these guitars, it's going to be really hard to find one that's actually a really good quality. Even if you buy one new, it doesn't guarantee you that you're going to have one that has the quality that this guitar is supposed to have. But let's get on with the tone test. Okay guys, so initial thoughts on this guitar, it actually feels really good to play. The neck is thin, the body is not heavy at all. It is very stable with the strap, as I will show you guys here in just a few minutes. It sounds great. It's so easy to play on this guitar. It's like, it feels like it excels on everything except obviously the construction is shit, but it feels like in essence it's still Dimebag's Cowboys from Hell guitar. So I don't know what to make of this. It's just like, it's a great guitar in every way possible except the construction. So this is what I mean by it being very stable, the strap. So basically you can just place it however you want and it'll stay put where you want it. And honestly, it just feels good to hold however it is with the strap, whether you hold it in your hands, whether you play with it sitting down. It's a very comfortable guitar. Again, it excels on everything except the construction, which is shit. The whammy bar is also super easy to use because it has a lot of pull and a lot of dive. It gives you so much control when you're doing the Dimebag squeals, the dive bombs. It's amazing. This guitar is so easy to use. It plays like quote unquote butter, and honestly, again, I'm like blown away by what this guitar is, with the exception of course the QC issues and the construction. Yeah, I'm perplexed because I don't know what to make of this. I want one of these guitars that's a really good quality, but you know, even if I buy one new, it doesn't guarantee me that the headstock's not going to break off, because all of these are made in China in the same factory. And obviously most of the custom shop ones are sold out because of the legal battle between Dean Guitars and the Dimebag estate. But yeah, those are my initial thoughts on this guitar. Alright guys, so final thoughts on this guitar. In terms of sound, I would give it a 9.2 out of 10. These pickups sound great. The DMT pickup on the neck sounds very, you know, fluid-y, Michelangelo Badio-y, if that makes any sense. Of course, the Dimebag has that Dimebag tone, which sounds really good, really punchy, which also lets you play solos that just, you know, punch through the mix because they're, again, very mid-rangey. In terms of aesthetics, I would give this guitar a 9.2 out of 10 as well. It's got that classic, awesome-looking graphic that's synonymous with Dimebag Darrell. And it's worth noting that, and I'll see if I can find a video of it, there's an updated version of this graphic in the form of like the Dean Racerback Racer Lightning, which looks really cool as well. That one's a little more updated to, you know, the younger players' liking, but in my opinion, they both look fucking amazing. In terms of construction, and I'm being generous here, I would give these guitars a 6 out of 10. Again, not the best construction. It's sad to see Dean not care for these guitars more, and well, now they're discontinued, so I guess I don't have to worry about it, but they should have made these guitars a lot better. And honestly, you can see a drop in quality just by noticing that this guitar has a Floyd Rose special, where like the higher end Razorbacks have like a Floyd Rose 1000 or a Floyd Rose original, but I don't know, I kind of wish they would have done this one better. That's all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, comments, concerns regarding this guitar, leave them in the comment section of this video. Besides that, you guys stay safe. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.